Hello there, and welcome or welcome back. Big shout out to my first two patrons. You guys are just your stars, your superstars. Thank you so much. And to the rest of you who maybe don't know I have a Patreon yet, the link to that will be on screen and in the description of this video. If you feel like supporting me, I would appreciate it a lot. It's so exciting. Thank you so much. Today I'm painting some bubbles for no particular reason. I guess it got in my head because I kept talking about doing a mermaid drawing and then I never did that, and now it's June and I'm painting bubbles instead because I just like them, I suppose. I like how they look. I like all the different colours in bubbles, how they're iridescent and kind of have every colour of the rainbow in them. All of my art is kind of like that. It's all sort of brightly coloured. That's something that I used to really hate about my own work, was the fact that I always used every colour of the rainbow and I always made it really, really saturated and really bright, because I really admire work that's dark, and all of my favourite artworks really are just darker or have a more limited palette. I just think that looks really cool and it's more interesting. But for some reason in my own work, I always go for bright, colourful, rainbow, saturated. And I don't know, sometimes I think I should fight that and I should do studies in single colours and I should train myself to use a more limited palette. And then other times I think maybe I should just lean into it and make my art as bright and colourful as it wants to be. What do you think? Do you think I would benefit from doing studies in single colours, or do you think I should just lean into the rainbow thing more? Let me know in a comment. I'm always wanting to hear what you guys think. What else was I gonna say? I had a whole thing planned and now I've forgotten it. Every time, right? There's two different paintings in this video. They're both in the video, so this won't be separated into two parts. Right now you're seeing me paint the dark version of this painting. Believe it or not, this is the dark version. I know I was just talking about how bright and colourful everything I do is. That's kind of what I mean. There's a light version and a dark version, and this is the dark one, even though it's really bright. Oh well, whatever. The point I'm trying to say is there's two different paintings in this video, and you will get to see both of them, because these are just studies. I've been painting a lot of bubble studies recently. I painted some bubbles in watercolour and I painted some in acrylic, and both of those were interesting, different. I like the watercolour ones a lot more than the acrylic ones. I'm just not very good at working with acrylic paint. I don't really know why or what it is about acrylics that I can't get my brain around, but I don't know. I didn't like how those turned out and I didn't like working on them. So I went back to oil painting because I find it quite simple, really. Or oil paints just work the way I expect paint to work. So personally, it's just a medium that suits me. And in my last art video, I mentioned that I hadn't done any oil painting at all this year. I'd been focusing on illustration and I've been busy with a lot of other stuff in my life. So I hadn't really had time to sit and do any oil painting. So I wanted to get back into that, and I'm really glad I did with these bubble studies. One day, hopefully soon, I want to try and find a setup so that I can film me painting a larger scale oil painting, because all of my videos right now are of studies, little tiny things like this that are just a study, and they aren't like full finished pieces because I don't really know how to set up my camera to film a bigger canvas. But I'm working on it. Hopefully we'll figure it out in time. So for most of this year I've just been working on illustration rather than paintings. And surprise, I'm making a colouring book. If you've watched my other art videos, you'll see the kind of thing I draw. So you'll see the kind of line work that I'm going to be putting in this colouring book. Next weekend's video will be a full look at the first copies of this book. And my patrons have already seen sneak previews and stuff, and they will get first dibs on them, discounts on the books when they're actually released and so on. But I will have, the key information available for everybody. So please look out for that. I hope you'll want to get a book and be part of this, because I'm really excited about it. Another thing I've been thinking about doing for Patreon is real-time painting videos. The stuff you're watching right now is sped up by about, I think it's 10 or 20 times the speed. These paintings take a few hours, and it's a few hours spread over a few days. I only work for a couple of hours at a time each day, and then I edit it all together and speed up the footage so it fits into 10 minutes, which is fine for YouTube, but I realise that anybody who wants to actually see how I work or understand how the painting process goes, it's not really that helpful. So I was thinking of maybe doing different versions of these videos where it's just the real-time footage, and the videos might be like 2 or 3 hours long, but you will get to see everything I do and how long it really takes. If you'd be interested in that, let me know, leave me a comment, and I might make that a patron reward. I'm not sure what tier yet, maybe the $5 tier, I don't know yet. We're winging it. I'm kind of winging it, I'm sorry about that. My whole life is sort of, unplanned, but that's just how it is sometimes, right? So, here you can see I'm working on the light version of this same painting. I wanted to mimic the look of the watercolour version that I did, but with oil paint. So I was deliberately watering them down a lot and mixing in a lot of white and just trying to mimic the watercolour effect, which I don't think worked very well, but I'm pretty sure I know what I did wrong, so I might try it again. And yeah, I might just see if I can try that again and do it better next time around, because I think what I did wrong was, I'm not sure how to explain it. Rats. This is why I don't do proper tutorials. I'm not sure how to explain what I'm doing. I think I didn't work with it wet enough. I think it just needs more water and more white mixed in to make it lighter for highlights and stuff. Yeah, that's my thoughts. If I was ever going to make a proper tutorial, I would have to write a proper script and really think about how to describe what I'm doing, because I'm honestly not sure. I love watching videos like that because people who can describe what they're doing properly, that's a whole talent in its own right, and it's one that I just don't have yet. I was going to try and describe how to paint the bubbles properly, because I've seen some other tutorials where they talk about how you just put the colours in randomly in the bubble, and you can just like spread around. As long as you have a full rainbow in there, you can place the colours randomly, and that's just not true. Things that are iridescent or holographic, the colours have to be in a sort of spectrum order, or it doesn't make sense, and it has to be with the yellowest part facing the light source, and then radiating out from there to like orange or green, and then to red or blue. I'm sure I could learn how to explain that better and make maybe a proper tutorial on it if you were interested. But yeah, leave me a comment, let me know. Thank you for being here, as always. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had a great weekend, and you will have a good week. Don't forget to subscribe. The first look at my art book will be up next Monday. Thank you. Bye.